Nice. 2011. Mm-hmm. We are in effect, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are. We are in the stretch run. We are in the stretch run. Today is the last day until next Thursday. We get back to work. In the process of doing that, getting back to regular season basketball, the last 24 games after today. So I'm interested to see how this goes. There are a couple of teams that I'm concerned with more than anything. There's a couple of teams that I'm a little worried about. Hello, Jillian dear. How are you? I was just on a live not too long ago. That's correct. No doubt. Thank you. Luke, what's up, brother? FIFA, what's up? And I don't know if you dudes know it, and I want to, because I'm actually glad Jill's here. So Jillian was in my live a couple of weeks ago, and she and I were talking hoops. And I heard a lot of you dudes, I just want to address this really quickly, but I heard a lot of you dudes talking about, Jillian, do you have a boyfriend and all of this? Just so you know, there's plenty of chicks who enjoy talking basketball, and that's all it is, right? Nothing more, nothing less. There's plenty of chicks who want to do that. Jillian is one of those chicks. She digs the game, and she wants to talk basketball, and that's it. So when she comes through, can you do me a solid and show my homegirl some respect? I appreciate you. Thank you very much. So yeah, there's a couple of teams that I'm concerned with more than anything when I think about moving forward, like coming into the playoffs. I do like what I see. I think Denver has I think that they have the best opportunity to dethrone Golden State, right? I think they got the best opportunity to dethrone Golden State. I know a lot of people look at Golden State right now. I mean, they're in the play-in tournament, but they're a game and a half out the sixth spot. I think that by the time the season is over, I think Golden State, I don't think that they'll be a play-in team. I think that they'll be better than that. I do. Mm-hmm. Bro, stop cutting your hair. I love the little fro. I kind of go back and forth with it. Like sometimes I rock the Caesar. Sometimes I rock it a little bit grown out. Every so often I'll do that, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But again, I'm not sold on Phoenix yet. I know that the pundits and the masses think that this thing with Phoenix and Chris Paul and Devin Booker and this thing is a can't miss. I'm not sold on it. And the reason why I'm not sold on it is because I look at their secondary guys. And if you think that you're just going to be able to outscore other teams, that's not happening. Now, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate the logic. I can definitely appreciate the logic of a team being that good and adding 20, 27, 28 a game to your roster, right? So that's not, I think that goes without saying. However, when you got those other things that are in between that you're missing, so Mikal Bridges being the lockdown defender that he is, Cam Johnson being another long ball threat. Not only long ball threat, he can also get to the basket, stretch the defense, and he also defends. So when you take those two things out of the lineup, I can appreciate Kevin Durant playing defense. I don't think Kevin Durant is underrated as a defender. I think he's inconsistent as a defender more than anything. And if he can be solid. Now, I know that DeAndre Ayton just got paid and he wants to show that he's worth the money that he got paid. In fact, he wants to show that he's worth more money. I think that if he could be more of a rim runner, if he could be more of a pick and dive guy, if he could be more of a glass cleaner, if he could be more of a rim protector, I think that helps them out tremendously. And if it doesn't, then we got to move off of him. You got to move off of him and look to get somebody like Capella, Nick Clax, somebody in the Nick Claxtons of the world, Capellas, those guys. A guy that's a dirty work guy, as opposed to a guy who needs the basketball and wants to score. Because when I look at Ayton, in all honesty, I think he's a 20 and 10 guy. I do think that. And him having to take a back seat to Kevin Durant, and not just take a back seat to Kevin Durant, took a back seat to Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and now he's going to he's going to be the fourth option offensively. Even though what he is for this unit, I think he's the catalyst because they're not winning without him. They're not winning without him. So I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this Phoenix thing just yet, just because you got buckets like you did with Kevin Durant. So let's see here. Who else was I thinking about? Memphis is so inconsistent, man. Right? And with them going up and down, the way that they do, like they'll win 9 or 10 or 11 straight and then lose 7 or 8. And that's largely due to their inability to make jump shots and stretch the defense, right? I think that that's largely due to that. Now, adding Luke Kennard, I think that helps them out. Can they hold on to that 2 spot? Can they hold on to that 2 spot for the duration? That remains to be seen. So that remains to be seen. Jaren Jackson has to stop fouling like he does. I wonder when I watch Jaren Jackson, I wonder if does he study the game, right? Because he catches the ball on the left wing and he gets a double team with who am I thinking about? And the kid that plays for the Boston Celtics. I don't know why his name escapes me. Why the hell? I'm going to find out right now. Hang on for a second. I will tell you momentarily. He plays for the Boston Celtics. I should know this. That's him. So he gets a double team, right? He gets a double team with Pritchard and Derek White. And in the process of him getting a double team with Pritchard and Derek White, he tries to break the double team by hooking Pritchard. That's foul number 4 on him. So with that being foul number 4, I'm going to get you in a second, Brock. That's foul number 4 on him. And that's early in the third quarter. So now he's got to sit down. And he's got to sit down for the majority of the third quarter. And that's when Boston basically blows it open because this is your best interior defender. This is your best rim protector. And with all of that being said, he's picking up these fouls that's throwing a monkey wrench in his crew. So I wonder about Jaren Jackson if he can play smarter. If he can play smarter, I think Memphis got a really good shot at doing something. So Faves in the East. Thoughts on Boston versus Bucks? Also, any words on Mike Muscala? I said, if you know anything about me, Brock, I've said this before the season started, and I still stand on it. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are winning the NBA championship. Yesterday's game was a statement game for the Milwaukee Bucks, even though no Jaylen Brown, no Tatum, and no Al Horford. The Boston Celtics is only they was only a game and a half ahead of Milwaukee. Now, do I expect Drew Holiday to go for 40? No, I do not. Do I expect Giannis to go for 33 and 16? Yeah, I do expect that. No doubt about that. But I do not expect Derek White to go for 27 neither. I do not expect that. So when they get back Marcus Smart, when they get back Jason Tatum, when they get Jaylen Brown back in the lineup and Horford gets back in the lineup, when that happens, Derek White is going to go back to a reserve role. Williams is going to go back to a reserve role. Muscala, basically what he is what Gallo was supposed to be. Before Gallo tore his knee up, he was what Gallo was going to be. He was going to be a guy that came off the bench and he was just buckets, which works, right? Which worked. And the reason why that works is because they don't have that kind of punch. Right? They don't have that kind of punch. And because they get that from him, I think he supplements what Blake Griffin doesn't do offensively. So in a 7-game series, I think it's a dogfight. I don't think that that's a series that Boston beats them or Milwaukee beats them in 4 or 5 games. No, I think that's a 7-game series, and I think Milwaukee comes out the victor. The reason why I think Milwaukee comes out the victor, because when Derek White goes back to the bench and he becomes more of a reserve player, you're not going to see the production that you see from him. When with Muscala coming off the bench, everything that Boston has, Milwaukee has. So when Portis comes back, Connaughton getting better. When all of these guys in the rotation, everything you got, we got it. Everything. There's nothing that you have that we don't have. The difference in this series is going to come down to my best player is better than your best player. That's going to be the difference in the series. My best player is better than your best player. And my best player being better than your best player in Giannis, he's going to be the difference in the series. And I think that's how they get past the Boston Celtics. I still think that Brooklyn is I'm not really sure how much longer we're going to talk about Brooklyn, to be honest with you. I can't say with 100% certainty that we're going to be talking about Brooklyn that much longer, to be honest with you, because if you look at what Brooklyn is doing, I mean, they're a middle of the road team, which means that if the playoffs started today, excuse me, if the playoffs started today, they got to see they got to see Cleveland in round 1. I don't think that they beat Cleveland in round 1. I do not believe that they beat Cleveland in round 1. And if they do, which I don't think that they will, that's of course if they stay at the 5 spot. Can they hold Miami off? Right? Can they hold Miami off? If they can hold Miami off and stay at that 5 spot, they're going to end up seeing Cleveland in round 1. And I think that they get bounced. I'm not on the fence about that. I don't see them beating Cleveland 4 times in a week. I think that's a foregone conclusion. They don't have enough offense, and as good as they are defensively with Nick Claxton, that's countered by both Jared Allen, who over the last, I think 7 or 8 games, he's almost 20 and 11, and Evan Mobley. So you got 2 elite defenders and rim protectors to your 1. So I think that they're out in round 1 if they end up holding on to that number 5 spot. We got 24 games left in the regular season. Now we got 24 games left in the regular season, and I'm interested to see how this whole thing goes about. No doubt about that. I'm interested to see it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hang on for a second. SB, what's up, brother? Mm-hmm. You don't know that for a fact, King. You do not know that. You do not know that for a fact. Because if you're going to say that, you can say the same thing for every player who's lost in the NBA Finals when he was younger. You could say that about, if you're going to go off of one instance, you could say that about, I could say that about Magic. I could say that about Isaiah. I could say that about a bunch of different, I could say that about Curry. I could say that about a bunch of different players. And that's just not true. That is not true at all. Because what you just saw from a guy who was in year 5. This is a guy in year 5 who, by the way, had just turned 24 years old. You are out on him that he can't be the best player on the championship team, which is nuts to me because he's still growing into becoming a great player, right? So because he's still growing into becoming a great player, you're automatically out on him not being the best player on the championship team when you haven't even seen what he could. You haven't even seen the best of him yet. So you don't even know. But you out on him, and that's fine that you out on him. I have no problem with that. I can say the same thing about LeBron James in 2007. I can say the same thing about Kevin Durant. I can say the same thing about all of these dudes. I don't know how you can come to that conclusion after one time, and this guy being as young as he is, not only being as young as he is, to come back a better player the next season. Because Jason Tatum is not the same player this season as he was the last season. That's something that's really interesting to me. Really, really interesting to me. Hold on, I got a call on line 1. What up?
Yo, OG.
What up?
I got smoke with you.
You always got smoke with me. What's new? You always got smoke with me.
Look, so look, you've been. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Tatum fan with you. And I just don't get how you can say. What do you think the gap between Giannis and Tatum is right now? You think it's a playoff series the deciding factor with the Celtics how they're built?
So if the Boston Celtics were to beat
play Milwaukee again, I'm not really confident Milwaukee being able to beat them this time around.
Wait. So if Milwaukee were to play the Celtics and beat them, are you asking me do I think Jason Tatum moves ahead of Giannis?
No, what I'm trying to say is I get that Giannis is the best player in the world right now.
Right.
But you said the difference in the series would be my best player is better than your best player.
Yes, I did say that.
I don't think the gap is that wide for that to be the series deciding factor. I think it would be coaching before anything.
I think that's going to be a factor too. But because I think Giannis is as good as he is. I think that he can make up for that.
But there's no Ime Udoka this year. So I want to see how the new coach responds in those times where they have to make adjustments. Because if you really think about it, I feel like all the Celtics players that got better, and also what we found out, what was the problem last year for the Celtics and why they didn't win it all? It was turnovers. Now they have a lead guard in Brogdon to help the offense, and then Smart's gonna be back soon too. Mm-hmm. I just don't see how. After watching that game last night, the Bucks gonna need a lot, man. I don't know.
I think you overthinking this. When I look at that crew now, everything that Boston got, Milwaukee has in terms of their second unit. Everything y'all got, we got that. I know you're looking at Brogdon coming off the bench as one of the better bench players in the game. Milwaukee got arguably the 6th man of the year in Bobby Portis.
Yeah, you're right.
So don't leave that part out. So that's very important to mention. Add that to the fact that they got long ball shooters because Derek White's going to go back to the bench, right? Okay. Derek White's going to go back to the bench, and with Derek White going back to the bench, that's Connaughton, who he's matched up with. So with that being said, that matchup is pretty solid. Now you also got Grant Williams, and then you also have you got Grant Williams. You also have Milwaukee's bench. So then you got Milwaukee's 5 with Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, who got outplayed last year by Drew Holiday, and there's no reason for me to believe that Drew Holiday won't outplay him again. Then you got Jason Tatum. You got Jaylen Brown, you got Harford, and you got Williams. Well, Williams, he gets offset by Lopez,
not only that, I look at Milwaukee's offense and I look at how they speed the game up. Not only how they speed the game up when they get in the half court. Where they get themselves screwed up is when Giannis has the ball out top. Giannis is at his best when he's in transition or when he's in the secondary break. What I mean when I say that is not when he's coming down full speed, but when he's coming down and then the second wave of guys is coming down, then he goes again. Now when he gets in half court and Boston gets the load up on him, now he's going to keep coming. No question about that. He's going to keep coming. He's going to keep coming, but that's going to be a problem moving forward. That's where he gets other guys involved, where he gets Grayson Allen involved, where he gets Connaughton involved, where he gets Middleton, who's become much better. Middleton looks more athletic now than he did last year, a lot more athletic. So with all of these pieces and all of these things put together, you have everything that I have. When I've watched championship series, at the end of the day, most of the time when we're matched up the same, it becomes my best player is better than your best player, and that's going to be the series.
And I get what you're saying about that, but don't you think Boston has taken a step forward offensively than they were last year? And then, like you said, Giannis likes to play in transition, right? But if Tatum and them are not having as many turnovers as before, how many transition opportunities he's going to get? Because I know the Bucks feed off that. They get a few transition buckets, and they start launching up them threes, and then that's where the momentum comes from. But if you limit that, don't you think Boston will have the edge? My only thing is with the coach, are they going to be as good as sounding defensively as they were last year? Because if not, then that may be the problem, like to get the Bucks to probably beat them. Well, I'm kind of leaning towards the Celtics.
Here's the thing about the Celtics. They basically run the same thing that they ran last year. He was on the bench. Muscala was on the bench last year. He was on the bench last year. So they basically doing this. They haven't switched up much. They brought in Brogdon, right? They brought in I keep getting this kid's name wrong. I came from Oklahoma City. They brought those two guys in who were supposed to supplement. He's basically going to be Gallo. But they basically run the same thing that they were running last year. Now, the difference that you talking about when you talk about turnovers, well, I think the same thing where that could be supplemented with rebounding. You got the best rebounder in the league, or arguably the best rebounder in the league in Giannis. So he can limit them, not just him, but Brook Lopez. Add that to the fact that you got a double guy coming off the bench. So you limiting those guys to one shot. So when you limiting them to one shot, especially since Boston shoots the long ball like they do, when they shoot the long ball like they do, you're talking about a team that can speed the game up. So when you're doing stuff like that and you limiting Boston to one shot, we can speed the game up and we could get a lot more in transition. That's where coaching is going to come in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's where coaching is going to come in. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But that the only reason I really brought that to your attention is because you've been a main advocate about Tatum's growth and how much he's grown as a player. So I was just like, I thought it was kind of crazy that you would say that, like it'll come down to the best player. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Giannis is the best player, but I feel like Tatum is really ascending. Like you said on a panel yesterday, he could really be an all NBA defender.
I think he's going to make the all-league defensive team this year, but I still think there's a gap between him and Giannis. I don't think it's like that, but I still think that there's a gap between him and Giannis. Yeah. And when you think about championship series, so when I think about the San Antonio Spurs when they played against the Lakers when they had Kobe and Shaq, everything San Antonio had, everything Los Angeles had, San Antonio had. The difference in the series was Shaq was better than everybody. Yeah, that was the difference in the series. There you go. Right, everything you got, I got. You got an all-wing defender. You got an all-league. You got an all-league guard play. As great as Kobe Bryant is, at the end of and we got a big man on the box in Tim Duncan who can score the basketball. We also got another box player in David Robinson who's on the other side of who he used to be, but he's still awesome. At the end of the day, we got this dude and you don't.
And that's what's crazy, and that's why Shaq is one of them greats, man.
That's what it is. We got this dude, and that's what I think when I think about Milwaukee. We got him, and you don't.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about Jason Tatum.
Yeah, man. I like Tatum too. I was saying this before, like 2-3 years ago, that I thought like by the time he turned 27, he's gonna be the best player in the league.
Let's see, he'll be 25 next month. That's in 2 years. I think we're gonna be having that conversation.
That's what I've been trying to tell people, but everybody been telling me, Luka. You were so right on the panel. That Luka on defense is atrocious. I've been trying to tell people.
No, he's not. According to me, according to what I'm talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about. Luka as a defender, he does give effort. He does defend. He is one of the better. He is solid as a defensive player.
He's trying. He's trying.
And I'm watching Luke, and I'm like,
there's no way
you are watching this guy and being honest with yourself when you're telling me that. There's no way. So, all right, brother, good to talk to you. Yeah. There's no way you watching this guy. No way you're watching this guy and you're being honest. There's no way that's happening. You're not. You just not. What up?
Yo, what's good?
What up?
So I got two questions for you. The first one is, if the Lakers don't make the play-in this year, do you think?
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, to be honest.
Do you think they should fire Darvin Ham?
No, I don't think that they should fire him. And the reason why I don't is because you set him up for failure with this group. He got Russell Westbrook to buy into a lesser role, and he thrived in that role. Not only did he get Russell Westbrook to thrive in that role, when Anthony Davis was healthy, he had him playing some of the best basketball. Now, sure, he made some rotation mistakes, but that's part of being a coach. Pat Riley made rotation mistakes. Pat Riley made timeout mistakes. But if you're firing him, what you're doing is you're telling us that you're an unstable organization. That'll be 2 coaches in 2 years. And it means that you don't know what you're doing, and that's not a good recipe for success. No, I don't think that they should fire him. What's up, Brett? What's up, Elder?
The reason I think they should fire him is because last year, Frank Vogel had a much worse roster. Like, he had a bunch of old dudes on that team who aren't, like, half of that roster is not even in the league anymore. And up to, like, where we are last season, they had a better record than the team this year. And they were still, like, hovering around 500. They were a couple games before, but right now they're, like, 6 or 7 games under. And Darvin Ham as a coach, I think there's a bunch of games this season where he was the reason why they lost. Like, he doesn't adjust as much. I don't know why, even after this trade where you get Beasley, D'Lo, and Vanderbilt, he's still running 3-guard lineups, which teams with good coaches are just going to take advantage of that. Like, you can't run Schroeder and D'Lo and Beasley at the same time. Like,
you can. Yes, you could do that. Yeah, you can't run. You can't run Russell Westbrook, Schroeder, and Pat Beverly. You can't do that. And the reason why you can't do that.
But you can run D'Lo, Beasley, and Schroeder.
Why can't you do that?
Okay, because to me, D'Lo and Russ are like, they're both not good defenders. Schroeder he's all right, and then Beasley's not that good of a defender. And if
now we're talking about defense. So now we're talking about defense.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now we're talking about defense.
If you saw did you watch the game versus Portland?
I didn't. I saw some of the game against Portland.
Like that to me is a game where Darvin Ham was the reason why they lost, because the Dame had 30 in the first half. He was playing drop coverage on one of the best shooters of all time. Mm-hmm. And then he had 30 at half. And then not until after halftime he adjusts. He only holds the Dame to 10 points. So
listen to what you just said. He only held him to 10 points. So a dude who scored 30 in the first half, he only held him to 10 points after the adjustment.
Yeah, so that's my point. Like, why does it take you a whole half to adjust?
I mean, Dame, I don't know if you noticed, but Dame over the last month, because it's interesting you brought up Dame going for 40. Just so you know, over the last month, Dame is 38-8. So it's not just the Lakers. He's scorching everybody. So it's not just the Lakers.
Teams aren't playing drop coverage with Austin Reeves as your main defender.
And he's still scorching them. Still.
All right. So my last question is, if the Lakers don't make the play-in, like you said, they probably aren't. Does that affect LeBron's legacy?
Again, I know that a lot of people have that logic that it does, because he's still playing and he's in his prime. And the fact that he didn't make the playoffs 2 straight years while averaging 30 a game, it's going to look on the surface, it's going to look bad. Yes, it absolutely is going to look bad. You can't just say that, he needed this and he didn't have. Nah, he didn't make the playoffs 2 straight years. Sure, it does, but it might affect his legacy to you. to me, he's the best player ever. So even if they don't make the playoffs, he's in year 20. I already got my mind made up about him. He does not have to win the NBA championship again. He does not have to make the playoffs again. He does not have to get to the Western Conference Finals again. He does not have to break the scoring record. I don't care about any of that stuff. I already have my mind made up about him. Anything that he does moving forward just adds to the legacy. That's all it does.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Yo,
What up?
yo, dude, I just wanted to tell you, I'm a Timberwolves fan now. I was looking around.
Hey, don't come in here and start that. I'm not trying to hear you.
Wait, hold on.
I'm not listening to the bullshit from you. I'm not trying to hear it. You started this logic before the season. I'm not hearing this from you. You started in the season, earlier in the season, you started the nonsense with Atlanta, and now you're trying to suck me in with this Minnesota stuff. When I told you before the season started that I had them as a top 5 seed by the time the season was over. Now all of a sudden you get on here and you telling me, yo, I'm a Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not listening to your nonsense. True.
I'm not. Look, just hit me up. I never had a favorite team. I was just telling you what I think teams will be good, but I'm actually rooting for them now. And I want to tell you, I think this kid, Jaden McDaniels, when I watch him, he's a great defender. I think he's better than no boy in New Orleans. He was gassing up. I think he
is not better than Herb Jones. No, he isn't.
And now I know they teammates, but Austin Rivers did say he's the best defender in the NBA. Now I know they're teammates, so you might, that little connection there.
What you call it? Scotty Barnes said that OG Anunoby is the defensive player of the year. So what are we talking about?
But we got to talk about Dame, man. It's just impossible to not talk about him.
Talk about
who?
who?
What you said, Dame. I missed what you said.
Okay.
You was live last time on YouTube. You said something about the Blazers, but I missed it. OD 40 and they lost by 25 yesterday versus the Wizards. He had 40 and he lost by 25.
They got smoked.
Like I was debating today. I think outside of Giannis, Luka and Jokic, Dame has the most trade value in the NBA. I think he has more trade value than Embiid. I think he has more trade value than Trae Young, than LeBron James. Where you will fight that? Because I think any team will want that guard.
He does not have more trade value than Joel Embiid. That is not true. Absolutely not. No.
I think they know. I think they think the process failed.
No, he does not have. They think if they think the process failed. I mean, what is Brooklyn? The 3rd seed? There's no way the process failed. We're talking about a Brooklyn team that when we talking about a Sixers team that when the process started, they were at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. They got a 2-time runner-up for league MVP, and they're battling for the top seed in the East. The process has not failed. It's in process.
The hope in this is why I got Dame over Embiid. The hope in he had Jimmy Butler. He had Jimmy Butler. I forgot his name. He was on that team with him. Embiid had hope. He had Ben Simmons. He had hope. Dame best player CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
I think Ben Simmons is better than him when he was actually doing good. I think Jimmy Butler was better than him.
Ben Simmons was better than who?
CJ McCollum, who was named best.
Okay. Even though
he was the All NBA, he was the All NBA defender, which was he made the All-Star team a couple times too.
Yes, he did. And he was an All NBA performer too. Don't leave that part out. Yes, he was definitely an All NBA performer too.
So
don't leave that
what
part
should they
out.
do with Dame?
With that being said, don't leave out the fact that CJ McCullough, he had a 6-year stretch running with Dame where he was 20 a game. I just want to put that on your mind. But with that also being said, right? With that also being said, Damian Lillard is on the other side of who he used to be. Damian Lillard is 32 years old. He'll be 33 this July. How many more years you think Dame got at this level?
Oh, did you ask me? I think this is the best season ever. I think that 30.
Even if this is his best season ever, how many more seasons like this you think he got?
Okay. Well, when you asked that question, you said Katie had 2 more years, I found that pretty crazy because I look at what they're doing and see it progress year by year. So Dame is 31 this season, correct? So that means next season, let's just say he fall to a 26, and then next season 24, and then 20. You get what I'm saying? I just think the points decrease year by year. So I think Dame got another 3 more years then.
So he got another 3 more years. So Embiid is 28. How many more years you think Embiid got at this level?
Probably got 5.
Okay, so which means that if you trading Dame and you passing on Embiid, you getting fired. You're getting fired. I just want to put that on your mind. You're getting fired. So, all right, brother. Good to talk to you.
Good talking to you.
Yo.
Yo, what's going on, OG? You know I have to rock with you.
What's up, brother?
First of all, everybody watching, it's about what 70, 80 people in here. I need 70, 80 likes on this channel right now. So everybody punch that like button. It's a free button to hit. First of all, like the content because he bringing that NBA knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But while everybody pushing that like button while we chilling, I want to talk to you about all the moves that have been made and what you think successful. So my early predictions, I think Malik Bridges is going to become a star caliber player because he's
Mikal Bridges, sure. Right.
Bridges, I think he's going to become a star caliber player in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And I actually think the Kyrie Irving and Luka thing is going to work because of their selfishness that they have. And I feel like they going through like you seen the last play of the game, everybody keep replaying with them pass back and forth. It looked bad, but I looked at the positive side of like it's two alpha dogs who want the ball in the fourth was willing to give the ball up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they're going to have that conversation. And I think Kyrie Irving is going to take the step back and be like, look, I've been to these situations, multiple teams, bro, this your team. If you got to take that shot, take that shot. And for them to still look as good as they did separately and together, I think they're going to be a problem. And
SB, you still ain't tell me who guarding. You still ain't tell me who covering.
Guard.
Oh my God.
They're not. They're not. I'm not going to deny that.
Well, we slow it down. So we go. We going 135 to 130, 128 to 124.
Every game. Every game. Yep. I ain't gonna lie to you, OG. I ain't gonna be like the people cap. They not guarding nothing. Nothing.
We ain't slowing nobody down. Nothing. We ain't stopping nobody. We just going at it.
Nothing. Because Luka wasn't doing that before then. If they made it to the Western Conference by not playing defense, ain't nothing gonna change then. Only thing Kyrie Irving there is for is if Luka get double teamed, we got somebody else to throw the ball to.
The difference though is that we did have defenders. We did have Finney Smith, right? We did have Bullock, right? We did have Spencer Dinwiddie. We did have guys on the wing who could make up for Luka. Add that to the fact that you being a Bulls fan, you can appreciate this. We could hide Paxson. Why? So when Isaiah started scorching him, Jay could move over to him. Gotti could move over to him. When somebody starts scorching Luka, we can't hide him. We can't hide him because we don't have nobody to move over to slow him down. And add that to the fact, you watching basketball, you can also appreciate this. What star have you seen since all the years you've been watching basketball that they go after? Like, go after him. Like, did they ever go after Jay? We ain't going after Jay.
I mean, yeah. You got me on that one.
Anybody ever go after Kobe? Anybody ever go after Olajuwon? Like, anybody go after Steph? Steph's gonna give you effort.
No, they go after Steph. I give you that.
But even if they do go after Steph, Steph actually gives you effort. And we can hide him because we got Iggy, we got Draymond, right? We got these guys. KD. We can't hide this dude. We can't.
I can't deny that. You hit that right on the head with that. But they look so good offensively, though. They do. It's ridiculous how they fit. It was like hand and glove fit. Now defensively, like I said, I cannot argue that. And also, I want to talk about how I told you about the Suns. You see, they still look good without those boys. Then you add KD. You see what Chris Paul did purposely, because Chris Paul a dirty dog. What he do? He purposely was force feeding the pass to get those 20 assists just to show what he will do. And you see how they put Devin Booker in certain actions on the mid-range where Kevin Durant loves the ball at just to show what he'd be good at. I peep game. I love the coach of the Suns. Because did you watch that game and understand what I see, what you see? Because you're a basketball man like me. Because
I ain't need to watch the game to know that, okay, I got KD right here. I got Book right here. I got DeAndre Ayton on the box. I don't need to score.
No.
All I need to do is keep these guys involved and direct traffic and be a threat when they need me. I'm the primary ball handler. I'm going to get KD involved, which I don't have to because KD's game travels. I'm going to get Book involved. I'm going to get DeAndre Ayton. He's the only one as the lead guard that I have to worry about and keep myself involved in the mid-range and keep the defense honest when we're stretching the D. Keep them honest. I don't have to do much because I got this dude, and I got that dude. I don't have to do much.
OG,
In fact,
my question to you is this though: can Aiden be happy enough to get his little 15 points because he's gonna get like 15 because Booker and Katie go get shot, and to be that anchor defensively and take that role like I'm gonna hold it down on the defensive end? Do you think he would be happy with those 15 points, majority of them being lobs?
last year, I think it was last year, he had there was a stretch where when he got 20 to 25 and 10 rebounds, they lost. They had a losing record when he was doing that. What that tells me is that I'm not sure that he's a good fit for what they're doing. Not his game. It's not his game. I'm just not sure in today's game, the way he plays, that he's a good fit for what they're doing. Now you're asking the number 1 overall pick to now take a back seat. I already had to take a back seat to Devin Booker. I already had to do that. Then I had to take a back seat to Chris Paul. Now here come KD, and I got to take a back seat to him too.
Yep.
And on top of that, I got paid a little bit of money. I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid what I thought I should have gotten paid. And how am I going to prove that I'm that level of talent? Now, don't get me wrong. In the NBA, a lot of these guys who are max guys are paid off potential. DeAndre Ayton ain't but 23 years old. All right, I get that part. But with that being said, this guy playing the way he plays, I'm not sure that he's a great fit the way he plays. If you asked him, hey, big fella, I need you to clean glass, I need you to rim protect, I need you to rim run, and I need you to knock down the mid-range. I think that's the difference in them winning and losing, because he makes up just in the interior, he makes up for what Mikal Bridges was doing on the perimeter.
Yep. But only thing that I'm worried about with that team is him, because he has to be the glue guy, because you got enough offense with Booker, KD, Chris Paul. You're not going to get your shots. We need to be that guy to say, you know what? Ain't nothing going on in the paint. Somebody come to paint. I need you to be that guy.
Or just rebound.
That counts.
Rebound, rim protect, and rim run. So basically, who you are is you a better version of Capella from Atlanta. That's who you are. Yep. But a guy who can score. Because if he can do that, I think Phoenix got. As I said, I think that he makes up for what Mikal Bridges did on the exterior.
And then also because he'll be a better version of Capella, because guess what? Once they call that paint, he can hit that free throw line jumper. Knock you down with money.
Yes, he can.
And that's going to help them out in the long
run.
He can. Now, I know the last guy was talking about the Bucks. I was asking you, like, do you still have Giannis as the number 1 guy in the league?
I do. He's the best player on the planet. I say that, and I say that like that. I don't say no. He's the best player in the game, no doubt about it.
Where do we place Joker once he won his 3rd MVP? Because I remember I told you. I was like, it's funny how the league is quiet about the MVP talks, because Joker almost averaged a triple-double. I think at one point he was averaging triple-double. He's number 1 seed.
Right.
You cannot give him MVP. So where can we place him?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because you've heard me say in the past about my criteria when we're talking about all-time greats or about great players. So now, Joker, game timeless, check. Right? Dominating the league. I'm the 2-time league MVP, and I'm about to be a third straight league MVP. Check. Win the NBA championship, or at least get to the NBA championship. Are we there yet? We're not there yet.
Western Conference.
He's been to the Western Conference Finals, no doubt about that. So they've been a championship contender. Can we get to the NBA championship? I don't necessarily think that we have to win it. Can we get there? If we could get, because I've said this countless times, my man, a lot goes into winning a championship, yo. I know that, once you get there, you got to win, but you need a lot of things to go your way in order for that to happen. So with that being said, Joker doesn't check that box. Giannis still checks that box.
Yeah.
Giannis still checks that box. So if I got a guy in Giannis, and again, I think that the Milwaukee Bucks, I think they win in the NBA championship again this year.
I think so too. They're my favorites too.
I think they win in the NBA championship this year. Yeah. Joker, we're having a different conversation about him to win the league MVP 3 straight years. We're not having that all-time great conversation, because you got to win, yo. You have to.
My last point, I know a lot of people tag you in a lot of stuff, so you might have didn't see my tag. So I seen the clip of my video down the For You page, and I blame Low, I blame Dub, and I blame Mars because that John Stockton slander. Now people think John Stockton trash. And they said, I'm gonna tell you what bro said. All John Stockton did was throw the ball in the post to Carmelo and do a pick and roll. It's so easy. I could have done it. I said, Low, Dub, and Mars, this is your fault because now y'all got people thinking John Stockton trash. Now, look, I'm cool with not saying John Stockton top 5, but there's no debate that he's a top 10 point guard of all time. He was the best passer in his era, one of the best defenders at his era, at his position. You do not make the finals 2 straight times if you are overrated. He's a top 10 point guard. Top 5, I'm cool with not putting him top 5. But it's no question that he's a top 10 point guard all the time.
I got him as a top 5 point guard, and
I respect it.
You saw I was about to have a stroke when this dude is trying to tell me about Joker being a better passer. I'm thinking to myself, because he's telling me that what he does, any top 10 point guard could have done that. If that's true, then why weren't you doing it? Because it's not like it's a situation where John Stockton he was the only one who played with a great player in Malone. Yeah. Magic played with Jabbar. He played with James Worthy. Awesome. No question about that. Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Mark Aguirre. That was a great team. And he had those guys for years, right? Oscar Robertson, years, right? Jason Kidd. He played with a bunch of great players. So when I think about it, when I think about a guy, Steve Nash had Amari Stoudemire for what, 6-7 years? Chris Paul had Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin, if I'm not mistaken, finished 3rd in the league in MVP votes. 3rd.
Yep.
And MVP votes in 13. These guys have played with great players. So if anybody can do that, why weren't you guys doing it as regularly as he was?
And this
it wasn't like he was just passing the ball to Malone, because he wasn't just doing it.
He wasn't. And this what kills me too, OG. When people say that just shows me you don't do your research enough, that you only like what you saw. Because if you know what you see from Stockton, because it's no way you pass the ball to one person and you make it as far and you win as many games as you did.
At some point, the defense is going to go, okay, let's slow this down. Either that or these dudes was just that good.
Come on. Like, that's what I'm saying. You don't win. And then I agree. And this is what I kill people from the point that they be like, well, LeBron beat the greatest winning teams all the time. I say, hey, do you know Jordan beat more winning teams than LeBron did, right? So you know who played the factor in that? John Stockton and those boys. Those guys who you said was plumbers, plumbing the toilet, was winning 60, 55 win games. But y'all tell me they trash. But in the next breath, y'all tell me LeBron beat this team with this many record, this record. Y'all, all that tells me is that y'all don't know nothing past 2010.
Can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways.
Salute. Always gotta come rock with you, my boy. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe.
You know where to find me at, brother. Out.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Jillian, dear.
I feel like I haven't been in here in so long.
Been a minute since I've seen you.
Not been notifying me, and I don't know why. Anyway, I'm here now.
We've been on. Hello, Jillian, dear.
How are you?
Running good. Talking hoops. What's up?
Okay, so this wasn't my initial question, but I saw some Sixers haters in the chat and on the live earlier, and I'm watching them now.
And they handling Cleveland, by the way. I'm watching it too. It's right here. They handling Cleveland.
And so with that, I mean, it wasn't my initial question, but I do have to ask, because I know kind of where you stand on, like, you have to see Harden and Embiid, mainly Harden, show up in the postseason for you to, like, be a believer in them. And I get that. But I want to know, because in my opinion, this year, besides the year they had in 2019, is probably their best shot. I mean, that's just what I think based on the parity in the league. But I want to know if you think that, because I mean, obviously, I'm super high on Boston and Milwaukee too. But not that I'm not sold on them, but like, I think this is the best they've looked in the past couple of years to compete with them, at least.
Now, I will tell you this, Joe. I've changed my stance slightly on Philadelphia. And the reason why I say that is because of one guy and one guy only. You know how I feel about the big guy. You know how much I love the big man. And this is very simple. Big fella, we're going as far as you take us. Let's take the James Harden logic off the table. Let's take Tobias Harris, as good as Maxey is, as much as I love him, and you know how I feel about him. I wanted to give him the basketball. I wanted to let James Harden walk. With all of that being said, we're going into the playoffs, and we're telling Joel Embiid, big fella, we're going as far as you take us. That's it. More than anything, I'm not concerning myself more with I got to see it from James Harden. I already know who James Harden is, right? I'm not concerning myself with Tobias Harris. The whole logic of them losing to Toronto in 19. We're talking about a Philadelphia team who lost in a 7-game dogfight to the NBA champions. I'm not sure if they bring that group back next year that they don't have a shot at winning it. The fact that they let Jimmy Butler walk out the front door is still nuts to me. I can't understand that. But at the end of the day, when I look at this Philadelphia team, Jillian, you know how I feel about the big guy. My stance is very simple. Joel, we going as far as you take us, big guy.
Yeah, I would agree. And that only slightly scares me because of his injury history in the past.
Yep.
But I think that if it doesn't happen after this year, I don't want to say the process failed or whatever, but like I can't say that it worked to the extent of like what fans wanted.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, we get this season and you guys end up in the East Finals.
Right.
And then you end up losing. Are you ready to pull the plug on this whole thing, or do you want to run it back, or do you want to make some minor changes?
I personally, well, the thing is, I don't know. I feel like I can't get a read on Embiid as far as like him. I know he loves Philadelphia, but I just feel like I can't get a good read on his brain. So I don't think blowing it up would be the answer, but there has to be, and I know they made some, distinct kind of changes on the bench and, other players this year.
Right.
So it's not like they're not trying, but at the same time,
Which they
it's
are.
like,
Yes, they are. Mm-hmm.
It's like, how many, versions are we going to get to where it's like build around Embiid, only so much to
Right.
where, and then you're going to start hearing the criticism. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they already have of like, Embiid kind of gets the same as Joker right now, to where it's like, yeah, you're amazing, but you haven't done what Giannis has done. You haven't won. So it's like, how good actually are you? And that's where I think, not me personally, but some fans will get.
Of course they will, because again, at the end of the day, the goal is to win it, especially when you have a top 5 player, which is why I'm not ready to pull the plug on this thing, because how many teams have a top 5 player? Not many.
5.
So, right, that's it, right? So with that being said, and some teams have 2 top 5 players in my lifetime. That doesn't happen often. So when you get one and you have an opportunity to build around this guy, I'm not ready to pull the plug on Embiid. This thing has gone a lot further than what it originally started as. Don't forget, I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers are at the bottom of the East. That's why we have a process, right? Now the Ben Simmons, moving off of Ben Simmons, that didn't work out, but they're a lot better now than they were.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they didn't win it, I would like to at least see them in the East Finals. But I'm not ready to pull the plug on this thing, Jillian, because I got a top 5 player in Embiid. And because I have a top 5 player in Embiid, I can still build around it. He's only 28 years old, so I can probably get some more years out of him. So I'm not ready to pull a plug on this thing yet. The Eastern Conference has gotten so much better, man. And because it's gotten so much better, we kind of get skewed by who's really good and who's not. Joel Embiid is a top 5 player, and we're looking at the Philadelphia 76ers like they might be a semifinals exit. That's how good the Eastern Conference is.
Yeah. And I think, and as good as it is, because it is really good right now. Like now I'm definitely not worried about Brooklyn as much. It's definitely going to be Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, and Cleveland, I would say.
Nope, take them off the table. Say the 3 you just said, Jill.
Take Cleveland off the table?
Bye. They still a year
Really?
away. Yeah, they still a year away. They're not there yet.
You don't think they're going to make the semifinals?
I think that they could be a semifinals team, but I think that that's as far as they go. I don't think that they go any further than that.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Like,
Okay.
those are the 4 I see in the
Right.
semifinals.
Right.
I don't really like the Hawks could maybe make it, maybe. I'm pushing it, but maybe.
This is what I'm thinking. When you brought those 3 teams up, Jill, those 3 teams that you brought up, I'm thinking to myself, those are the 3 teams that could potentially win the Eastern Conference Championship. That's what I'm thinking
I agree
about.
with that.
When I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers, I still think that they're a year away. Not a year away from being a year away. They're a year away from really challenging in the East. I don't think that they're there yet. The 3 teams that you just brought up, Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia, I think that they're right there at the doorstep. And I think that it's going to come down to, number 1, rotations. Number 2, how coaching, because I know you're ready to strangle Doc Rivers. I know that you are, and I know you can't handle it. I know you
really
can't. Can you handle it, Jill?
I really can't. I'm over it. I'm over it.
I know you've had it with Doc Rivers. I think it's going to come down to coaching, and at the end, each team has something different that the other team doesn't have. And in Philadelphia, they have a big guy that's good enough that he could throw them on his back and take them to the championship. I do believe that.
If his back doesn't break or
that's
something,
the difference right there. That's the difference right there. If he could hold up,
only thing.
If he could hold up, I think he's good enough to throw him on his back and take them to the promised land. I'd like to see him rebound a little bit more. I think that he's a little deficient in that area, but for the most part, Jill, I think he's that good.
Yeah. And Harden was a snub this year from the All-Star.
Jill, as long as you've been watching basketball, a top 3 seed in any conference, whether it's the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference, what top 3 seed has a 20-10 guy that doesn't make the All-Star team?
I don't know. I don't know. You would probably know if there's.
I've never heard that before. In my entire existence of watching pro basketball, I have never seen a team that's a top 3 seed in the East or the Western Conference have a 20-10 guy not make the All-Star team. Never seen that.
I just don't get it. I mean, I guess I get it because a lot of it's up to the fans. But anyway, this wasn't even my initial question. I was going to ask, and forgive me if you already talked about this. I haven't been able to catch these recent ones, but what do you think about like the most recent developments we've heard about Zion? Are you like concerned about him long term? And I know that sucks because I really like Zion, but it's just like, this is what, the second time in 3 years. Yeah. So
second
it's
time
like
in 3 years.
And I thought, up until the news came out the other day, that all signs were pointing to, hey, like the Pelicans, like, kind of right after All-Star or maybe even before, like he would come back and the West is so open that they could get right back in it. And now it's like, okay, what do you do now? And this keeps happening. So I don't know. Are you worried about him at all long term? I
am. Well, first of all, Jill, I don't think he's going to last 10 years. I want to start there. I don't think he's going to hold up for 10 years. However, yes, I don't think he's going to last 10 years. I do not think he's going to hold up that long. However, what the Clippers are doing with Kawhi Leonard, what the Lakers did with Andrew Bynum, how they managed him, if the New Orleans Pelicans, because they just extended him, if they could do the same thing where if I could get 55, maybe 60 games out of him for the next 3 or 4 years and manage him correctly, we could have a shot at making some noise. The key word is managing him, because what I can't do is I can't rely on him just holding up. I have to definitely step in and save him from him. Jill, he just got hurt. He just got hurt in a 2-on-2 non-contact drill.
Yeah.
With a hamstring. So I'm thinking to myself, what's going on with this guy? I understand that, he's filled out more than other people. And it's not because he's overweight, because he's muscular. He's not fat.
No, yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's muscular. But I think the way his body is put together, I don't think he's going to hold up for 10 years. I don't. So I think the key word here, Jill, is managing him. And not just managing him for enough time where you figured out, okay, this is as far as we're gonna go with him. Maybe I can get something for him.
Yeah, I think so too. It just sucks to see because you see, especially this year, what he and that team could be, and especially in a year where the West is what it is. It
Wide
just
open.
is
Wide open.
really sad. But
Absolutely.
last thing, I just gotta get, and you probably already talked about this, but again, I haven't been here. So, Phoenix, I think you were talking about it a little earlier, but just so we're on the same page, you're not entirely sold on.
I'm not, Jill, and the reason why I'm not is because I need to see it from a.
I'm not either. I just wanted to hear.
I need to see it from a reserve perspective. I know who KD is. KD's game travels. KD is who KD is in Oklahoma City, in Golden State, in Brooklyn, now in Phoenix. My game travels everywhere. Chris Paul, I think that his game, he might have the easiest job in the NBA. I got Kevin Durant on one wing, I got Devin Booker on the other, and I got DeAndre Ayton on the box. I really don't have to do anything except get these guys involved and keep the defense honest. He doesn't have to do much. I think the problem that I'm having is moving off of Mikal Bridges and moving off of Cam Johnson. Now my reserves, I don't know how I feel. Actually, I do know. I'm not sold on Torrey Craig basically filling in for Mikal Bridges because he's not what Mikal Bridges was offensively. He's not the defender that Mikal Bridges is. No question about that. Losing Jay Crowder wanted a bigger role. In the process of him wanting a bigger role, they went with Cam Johnson, who they now got off of, which I understand. You're not going to not trade for Kevin Durant. He can't hold up the trade, right? But with that being said, Cam Payne, who now has to play better. And he didn't play better. He didn't play. That's why Chris Paul played the way he did, because he had to play so much in the playoffs because his backup point guard was stinking up the joint. So I think that's a problem moving forward. So if DeAndre Ayton would, if he would take a lesser role, and I know that's asking a lot considering that he was the number 1 overall pick. If he would take a lesser role and be more of a rim protector, be more of a rebounder, be more of a space eater in the paint, right? And be a rim runner and be a pick and dive guy more than looking for his offense. I think that this thing, especially being in the interior, I think that this thing could turn into something. Because offensively, I don't think that we have a problem. I don't think there's a problem at all.
Yeah, I agree. Cool beans.
Absolutely. Jillian Deere, it's good to see you. You know where to find me.
As always.
I don't know why you haven't been alerted. That's interesting because I'm here
I check my
and
phone or something.
something's going on. But it's good to see you, Jill. You know where to find me at.
You too.
Take care, Jill. Yeah, absolutely. That's my homegirl, Jillian, and Jill knows basketball. Not only does Jill know basketball, Jill likes to talk basketball, and I dig talking basketball with her. She's dope. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. No doubt. Good to talk to you, Jill. Is my man Ticket TV in here? Let me drop this link real quick. Hold on for a second. Is Ticket in here? Let me see if Ticket is in here. I think Ticket is in here. Is my man Ticket in here? Let me see if my man Ticket in here. Hold on. What up, Ticket TV? Elder Rufus, what's up, brother? I'm sorry, I was on the line. Y'all got some other stuff going on. There he is, right there. As a matter of fact, this is who I want to talk to. This is who I want to talk to. Here we go.
What's wrong with you, man?
What's up, brother?
You in here capping for these young dudes again, man.
What are we talking about?
You sitting there talking about, oh yeah, man, Zion can play 55 to 60, but y'all swear that this era is better than the 90s era, man.
Well, hold on, Ticket. Hold on for a second. You talked to me about Kawhi Leonard and the strippers with that broke knee, right? Now, when you think about what the Lakers did with Andrew Bynum, how they managed him, could New Orleans do that with Zion, where they could manage him?
No, I ain't saying that. I'm saying this proves when I told y'all that this era is weak. These dudes can't even play the game, bro. This era is weak. Bro, we come from an era, Chilltown. We come from an era where dudes played every night and took pride in it. Whether you was hurt or not, we didn't have all the foolishness going on.
I'm not fighting that. I will not fight that. I will not. Absolutely, I will not fight that. No, I won't.
The great ones, they ruin themselves to be great. They can't even walk straight nowadays because they got fingers crooked, broken hands that never recover right, limping all over the place, man. Just because they put in the time every single day, appreciated the people who paid to see the games. They appreciated going out there every night, putting in the work. These dudes go on practice every day. We praising dudes that don't.
Let's take that off the table for a second. You played hurt, and the reason why you played hurt because there was nothing else. What else was I going to do? It wasn't no commercials, right? It wasn't no shoe deals. It wasn't any of that stuff. You got everybody getting shoe deals today. You got everybody in commercials today. The game was all we had. And me proving who I am was through the game. That was it. There's a reason why AC Green didn't miss a game for 11 straight years because this is all I have. I don't have nothing else. So when you get these dudes in the game today who you're giving them an out, and I know that it sucks because that's what the game is, but you giving them an out where you don't have to play this game or this game. Then their bodies don't get acclimated to playing through injury. So when they get hit in the ribs, I'm out for 3 games. And that makes me nuts, man, because when dudes play with not just bad ankles, right? So when dudes play through injury, not only do they get their body acclimated to that, they also get their confidence up. Because when I'm feeling better and I'm not hurt as bad as I was, I'm even better as opposed to when I'm always hurt. Well, I ain't even gonna play because I'm hurt anyway. That's corny.
Shit, you be capping for these dudes, man.
I'm not capping for nobody, Ticket. I'm talking about what the game is today. Does it suck that I got to watch dudes play 45 games and make $40 million? Hell yeah, that sucks. Does it suck that I got to watch Kawhi Leonard, being the talent that he is, play less games than Anthony Davis over the last 3 years? Hell yeah, that sucks. I think it's super corny that he doing that. And at the end, and I'm glad that you brought that up too, Ticket, because I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a lockout. These owners ain't trying to hear it. I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a lockout. You dudes want to get this money? You dudes want this money? You dudes want to get this money? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to show your ass up to work, and you're going to play. And these how many games you're going to have to play in order to get this money. Otherwise, you ain't getting paid.
But when was the last time, dog? I'm going to say it again, homie. When was the last time that, a player took off a week during the season?
This ain't the first time James, if you remember too, Ticket, James did this when he was in Cleveland.
I'm saying right.
The first time he did this.
He did this ago.
Was it in Miami?
He was the one who did it.
I don't remember a guy doing that. I don't. In the middle of the season. I mean, Dennis Rodman took some time off, but Dennis Rodman ain't James. Right?
Bro. You're not hearing me. When Dennis Rodman was doing whatever he was doing, that man came and put work in. He whatever he was doing, he went right to the court and put the work in. He gave you 20 rebounds. He gave you everything you needed. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just telling you.
James ain't doing that though, Ticket. But James ain't doing that. Like when he took time off, so James ain't coming back and doing that stuff too, or nah?
No, I'm just saying. Chilltown. Them dudes wasn't doing it like that. These dudes abusing the system. They ain't playing the games. And it's whack, bro. It's killing the league.
I can't argue with that. And the reason why I can't argue with that is because I come from an era where you played.
But
you played through injury.
Y'all get mad when I say them dudes ain't on that level, man. When I say them dudes ain't on them dudes levels, bro, because, man, them dudes got way more technology, way better science. And these dudes who didn't have as much, who didn't have the type of sneakers they playing in with the extra comfort and all that other stuff, who didn't have the high sophisticated training and the training staffs and all this other stuff, man, these dudes can't even play 50 games.
Ticket, I'm on record. You heard me say, I'm on record saying that records that's going on today, we ain't gonna see these records broken because these dudes don't play enough. I'm on record saying that. You heard me say that. So when I think about these dudes, like Anthony Davis is a prime example of a guy who, how he broke down, and not only how he broke down, how often he broke down, where you didn't get enough out of him He's a prime example of a dude that you didn't get as much out of him as you should have gotten out of him. He could have played through. Now, if I let him tell it, right? If I let him tell it, yo, he was a lot more hurt than he was, and he played through it. No, you wasn't. Ticket, when the last time you heard a dude roll his ankle without rolling his ankle? When the last time you heard a dude being out for 2.5 months with a rolled ankle? When the last time you heard that?
Bro, I'm just saying, man, them dudes killing the game, bro. They killing the game, bro. They killing. We don't even get to see the best players play the best no more, man. These dudes killing the game, bro. Man. I'm just saying, man. Y'all wonder why I say the stuff I say, bro. This is another reason why I don't respect this era and the stuff they doing, man. Because I came up around real cats that was really willing to put work in. And if you wasn't able to put the work in, bro, you wasn't gonna survive. You wasn't gonna be able to make it. If Pat Riley said we got practice and you can't go, you off the team. I don't care who you is. These dudes don't move like that now. That's why I can't compare these dudes to the dudes that came before them, because they're not carrying on tradition. Y'all do that. Y'all praise these dudes and put these dudes on all-time levels when they haven't met all-time standards.
Well, that ain't true, Ticket. James played 15 years. He averaged 76 games a season.
No. I'm saying
he did do that.
I'm saying. So you think he could have went through the Pat Riley practices that guys like Kareem and all them dudes went through all those years?
He played for Miami with Pat Riley there. You don't think that same stuff was going on when he was in Miami?
No, I'm saying when he don't like to practice. No, I ain't saying for 3 or 4 years. I'm talking about for damn near 10 to 15 years. I'm talking about like Kareem did. All them dudes who was the Showtime Lakers that was there for 6, 7 years that was going through the grind. You think they body? You think his man? Them dudes don't even want to practice.
Even with that being.
These dudes don't want to practice, Chilltown. How we giving dudes that don't even want to practice a pack? Bro, listen, that was mandatory, bro. CJ Watson told me, he was like, man, with Tibbs, you're getting 1 day off a week. Bro, we going every day.
Right. And you're going hard every day, too.
CJ Watson he told me that when I interviewed him, bro. He been listen, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's some coaches that still got that, but these players don't like that, bro.
Tibbs is a prime example. Tibbs is a prime example of that. Tibbs is a dinosaur in the NBA today. Right, guys like Thibodeau, Nate McMillan, guys like that. And
That's why I can't respect. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I can't respect how these dudes is moving, bro. I can't respect how the dudes moving, man, because them dudes don't want to do that. That's why you got Trae Young and them clapping back at the coach, going back at him because they don't want to go to shoot around. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to be on the court. They don't want to say.
Where you think this comes from? though? This ain't the players. This is the organization that ain't holding these dudes accountable though.
No, it's them dudes getting paid the money.
That's what I'm talking about.
They pimping the program. It ain't because of the organization.
Yes, Ticket. Because if I pay you, if I pay you 125 million guaranteed. Not only do I pay you 125 million guaranteed, now I don't demand that you come to practice every day.
But you put the coach in a bad position, because when the coaches ain't getting nowhere near the pay as the players, the first person to go is the coach, because you got more invested in the player than you do the coach.
Ain't that the organization though?
No, because ain't no coach getting paid more than the players.
No, that's not
it was a difference. It was a level of respect that those guys had. Even in the back in the day when they got paid more than the coaches, they had a level of respect for the coaches. Now these dudes just don't want to listen. They in a new era, and it's the same way in these people's houses. They don't want to listen to their parents. They don't buck back, all this other stuff. Bro, I came from an era, man, where if you did something bad, the neighbor would beat you and then send you home, and then you'll get a beat when you go home. Nowadays, if the neighbor touch you, the parents gonna call the police. Oh man, come on, man. These dudes is y'all wonder why I am how I am, bro. I don't respect this era, bro. I don't.
Well, the good thing about James,
dudes is soft, man. Dudes is soft, man. Dudes is soft, man. All them dudes soft. All of them, man. This man, LeBron James, broke the record, had no problem. Now he gonna take a whole week off. Kawhi Leonard play what he want to play. You know what I'm saying? Every time you turn around, they talking about KD, the greatest player in the world. He always getting hurt. Come on, man. Nobody got time for that, man. I'm just being honest, bro.
No, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing like haha. I'm laughing like I can't fight this.
Look at your star players in the league. How many games they play? 55, 60? Come on, man. People paying season tickets. People working out here, working hard, slaving, and to pay all these high prices for tickets, cable bills, NBA TV package, and these dudes ain't even playing most of the time. when you look, you don't even get the marquee matches. You're getting backups playing backups.
Kevin Durant and LeBron James haven't been on the court
All
at
of
the
them,
same time.
not just them. Keep going. Kawhi, Paul George, all these dudes, man.
Kevin Durant and James in particular, those two dudes haven't been on the court at the same time since 2019.
Hold on, let me tell you something. The role players is playing most all the games. That show you something. The role players are showing up. They playing the games. The star players are the ones that's being lazy. They don't really.
That's of course until they get paid. Ticket. That's of course until they get paid. Then it's going to be something different.
It did not used to be like that. It used to be the star players set the example and punched the clock, and everybody else followed suit.
I can't argue with that, and I won't. I can't argue because that's a fact. I can't argue with that.
Man, the whole system, man, they don't kill the game for time. They slowly kill basketball.
Yeah.
So I tell you, bro, dudes out here praising Jokic for stuff that he wouldn't be doing in the 90s and in any other era. He doing it in this weak ass era, and they praising him. But he wouldn't be getting that off like that in our era. Man, the big dudes that they be checking him, man. And then you got like dudes like Lowe and Mars. Like everybody always want to say I'm crazy, but they listen to that foolishness them dudes spew. Don't make no sense whatsoever, bro. Like for real.
I'm on record. I'm on record, Ticket. I'm on record telling anybody that I was talking to. David Robinson with an 8 Joker lunch. I said it,
bro. Is he doing all that?
David Robinson with an 8 Joker lunch. I'm saying it. And I've said it more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. David Robinson with an 8 Joker lunch.
Facts. Look, and then that type of dude, this is the thing they don't, that's why I be telling them, dude, they don't consider this. They only use statistics. They don't use the eye test. And when they use the eye test, they don't use it correctly. You have to equivalate the physicality they would have had to play through. Bro, most of them type of dudes couldn't even survive back then because of how physical the league was. They had to change the rules just so the European players could play.
And you would think that they would carry that over. Now, remember too, Ticket.
But see, when you tell these little 18 and 19-year-olds that they don't fly. That's why I was getting mad at you. I'm like, chill. You come from this grind, man. You know this, bro. You know this. Know it.
Yes, I do. I do know.
It ain't going like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't be respecting this era. That's the reason why I say the stuff I say, bro. Because I was taught a different way. I came up around dudes who really wanted to work.
I came up around the same people that you came up around, Ticket. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey, born and raised, man. I know what it's like. I do. Right. I came up around the same people. I know the Charles Oakleys and the Ben Wallaces. I came up around them dudes too, man.
All them dudes. Not only them, a whole lot of other dudes, man. The Johnny Newmans of the world, man. Yes. Corey Alexander's of the world, man. And I came up, man. We don't been in the gym with Stackhouse. All these other dudes don't been in the gym with us, man. Or this Chauncey Billups. All these dudes, man. This ain't no game, man. All these NBA cats I grew up around, man, and came up under, man. All them dudes, man. And it's more than that. Bro, man, I seen true greatness, bro. I seen true greatness.
Why did Jason Tatum play last night?
When I was in LA, I watched Kobe Bryant be at the court before everybody else. He in the weight room watching the D-League practice. He stepped out the weight room, stand on the sideline, watching the D-League practice. Nobody could believe that Kobe was up here before they practiced, because they practiced after we practiced, because we came in extra early, like around 7, and they practiced after us. And this dude is there first in the weight room lifting weights. He come pop his head out watching our practice. Like, nobody built like that.
Why didn't Jason Tatum play last night? He played tonight. Why didn't he play last night? And by the way,
all three of them dunked Giannis in 1 week. LeBron, Kawhi, and Tatum all dunked Giannis in the same week. Come on, man.
Just so you know, Milwaukee only there was only a game and a half out of first place last night. One game.
We praising these dudes, bro. We praising these.
That's
dudes.
all I'm going to say about that. So,
what are we praising these dudes for? For what? That's what I told you. What do I respect is Giannis. If Giannis ain't hurt, he playing. You know what I'm saying? If you hurt, you can't play. But if you injured, you know what I'm saying? Or excuse me, if you injured, you can't play. But if you hurt, man, you can go. You know how many people hurt? Ain't nobody gonna be nowadays. He's gonna be 100% before they get on the court.
There's a difference between being sick and not feeling good.
Come on, bro.
Those two things are not the same thing.
These dudes won't play. These dudes won't play multiple games because they don't feel good. They got tummy aches. Man, come on, man. They get paid.
I ain't gonna get you started, Ticket. Because if I get you started, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here all night.
I'm just saying. This is the reason why I say what I say. And Lowe and them, they can't never relate because they don't understand, bro. When you a dude like Mars and they ain't been on the court, they have never been in these type of situations. They can't understand. They talking from a different perspective. So that's why I be like, man, and everybody gonna ride with them because these other young dudes don't understand. But see, dudes like you who actually been through a grind, who actually seen this type of stuff, know how it goes. It's unbelievable that we allow dudes to say the stuff that they say. Man sat up there last night and said that Jokic is a better passer than J. Kidd, and everybody agreed with him in the comments. Like, come on, bro, what are we doing?
You saw me almost have a stroke.
I'm just saying, but what are we doing to the youth? That's all I'm saying, bro. We building up these lies, propping up these dudes, and we discrediting all the dudes who really put in work, bro. This is how quick they are to discredit those guys. And I ain't finna easily let you just pass these dudes without you really putting in the same. Because see, if we was grading them on the same scale, man, it wouldn't even be close. Because them dudes ain't playing on the same scale. Them dudes that came from our era, Chilltown, they took the stairs. These dudes in this era is taking the elevator, bro. And that's the part I don't like, is how much we praise these dudes. These dudes taking the elevator.
I like that.
Chilltown, you got drafted to a team. Chill. You ain't talking about roster construction. You ain't talking about this and that when you came up. You know what we talking about? How we gonna make it work with the guys we got?
I'm gonna use that line. I like that. They ain't taking
the stairs. How we gonna make it work, Chilltown? How we gonna make it? You rolling with the guys you got, and guess what, Chilltown? You was loyal to the team that drafted you because they gave you a shot. So you wanted to do it with that team, build up and win. Nowadays they don't want to do that. They catch a little bit of adversity, they want to leave. It's the reason why I be getting on your boy, because I thought your boy was great. When you're great like that, bro, you can't break through. You have to keep pushing. They told Giannis he couldn't do what he did. Look, so that's why I'm saying I knew LeBron could, because he was going to outlast Boston. He just got impatient and didn't believe in himself. Didn't believe in what they could, and that shows sign of weakness, bro. That's all I be saying to y'all. That's why it baffles me when dudes don't see this type of stuff, bro. But when we dealing with these kids and stuff, I'm always gonna tell the truth, man. Even if it hurt, even if everybody's gonna go against me, because I understand, bro. I seen this, bro. I seen with the dudes before us, and I will never let it go in vain. What they went through to be great.
Hey, check it. I got to bounce, B. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. You know, you're always welcome in my house. You know, I know where to find you at. I will always come through there to find you, even though me and you go at it and we do it all.
I like that, bro. I got love for you. I respect you, dog. Real talk, man. Mars and them, bro. Them dudes ain't got no heart, man. Them dudes won't pull up nowhere else. They'll stay on Beverly Hills. They won't come to the corner. They'll stay on Beverly Hills Drive.
You can't talk to a dude and then not run up to his neighborhood. You can't do it. You can't do it.
I seen how you was wired, bro. I seen some of your tapes. I said, yo, this nigga chill. I already, just from seeing the tape, my little tape I seen, I said, this little nigga right here wired, bro. I already know, chill. You do this for them, chill. I know how you was back there, chill. I already know. You was cutthroat. I already know you was cutthroat in the court, chill.
I do what I can, man.
I seen it in you. I seen it in you, dog. I seen it in you, bro.
I just I just posted it not too long ago.
You was athletic too. You was real athletic too. I seen you.
I could play a little bit. I wasn't 6'9" like you and glass cleaner, but I could play a little bit.
I see you, bro. I already know, chill. I see you.
I was with it. I definitely was with it.
Chill. You one of these I would have hated to play against. Because you one of these is gonna play hard all the time.
And don't come with that punk shit neither, because if you think that that's what's going on here, it's not. I'm telling you that right now. Don't think that you coming with that punk shit, because it's not coming on over here. So I think I lost him. Did I lose Ticket? I think I lost him. So, all right, yo. It's about that time for me. It was dope to see y'all tonight. Y'all know where to find me at. If I ain't here, I'm on the panel. I'm gonna be on Fluent and Chill tomorrow night. Me and Tone, we going at a different time, but Tone and I will be there tomorrow night. So you guys know where to find me at. If I ain't here, we probably going to have a little bit of a lull because we got All-Star Weekend going on, so not much going on except for All-Star Weekend. But then we ramp this thing right back up next week. So I will see you guys soon. Y'all know where to find me at. But until then, take it light, but take it.